It is literally the calm before the storm on this Friday. We've got trouble in the form of a decent snowmaker. We'll time it out for you coming up.
And break out those shovels. We'll share how people across the state are preparing ahead of this weekend's snowstorm.
Also, we'll have more on efforts to help tenants not get evicted from their homes. We'll have more on a bill Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro wants to get passed.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a Weather Watch alert.
You mentioned get the shovels ready. Hopefully you got a snow blower if you can, but maybe some snow throwers and lighter ones might not be able to handle what we have coming. Not that it's a huge amount, but it could be really wet snow this weekend. Good morning, everybody. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Symphony Privet. Good morning, sunshine. Oh, also, Tim, did you notice the little snowflakes right here? Nice start to the day. Well, let's go ahead and get you up to speed with meteorologist Matt Scott for more on what we can expect with this weather watch. Hey, Matt.
We should explain those are not real, Symphony.
Yes.
The real stuff is coming.
I know.
And there's a lot more than that coming on the way. So don't let that be an indication of just how intense this is going to be. Could be a very impressive Saturday night into Sunday. First things first, noticeably colder Friday. Here comes the snow tomorrow evening, hanging out through Sunday. And some of the totals may be impressive. Here's what we've got now. Nothing. Just a flake or two coming in, trying to hold together off towards the west over the Albany, Poughkeepsie region. Your temperatures noticeably lower. 24 this morning in Hartford, New Haven, and Groton. The winds out of the north and the west, 5 to 10, takes it down to the upper teens across much of the state, although Norwich, Willimantic, Putnam at 11, Groton at 11 as well. So yes, awfully chilly at the bus stop. 23 now. Kids get off the bus later on. Still sunny for today. There's no worries today. It's tomorrow that we're looking for some potential trouble. So here's your weather watch alert information. Again, 6 to 9 o'clock tomorrow night is when it begins and goes until Sunday morning. It's going to be tough travel Saturday night into Sunday. And here are the impressive numbers. The potential does exist for some higher elevations getting a foot of snow. I think it's going to be lower at the shore, but even 3 to 6, believe it or not, that's more than what a lot of shoreline folks saw last year in terms of any individual snowfall. We'll talk about it all, time it out for you coming up in a few minutes. Let's check the roads, which are snow-free, Symphony.
Yes. At this point. All right, let's get you up to speed with what's happening out there in just the last couple of minutes here before we started the 6 o'clock hour. CTDOT putting an alert in for 2 crashes along the shoreline this morning. First up in Stratford, there's a 2-vehicle wreck on 95 southbound between exits 31 and 30. The right lane is closed right now. And in Greenwich, there is a crash on 95 southbound between exits 3 and 2. The left lane is closed in that area, so you might see a bit of a delay. However, here in the capital city, things moving smoothly this morning as we check out I-84 through downtown Hartford. No major delays to report on 91, 84, or Route 2. And down in New Haven, smooth sailing out there. We are seeing our usual slowdown heading from New Haven to Bridgeport. You'll get there in just under 30 minutes. And today it is a busy day for crews across the state preparing for this weekend's first real snowfall of the season.
Yeah, Department of Transportation crews are going to be out treating highways and roads across Connecticut. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane joins us live now from a DOT lot in East Hartford. It's about time some of them had this work to do, Lindsay.
Hi, good morning. Well, it is still dark and early this morning, but for snow prep crews, there is plenty of work that needs to be done before the first flakes are set to fall tomorrow evening. And of course, as you said, this is work that they are excited to do because it has been a long time since they've had to pull out this gear. Now, again, we are expecting around 6 to 12 inches of snow. That's why cities and towns across our state are starting the legwork of what will likely be a long weekend. Crews will head out with their sand and salt to pre-treat the roads today, especially hills, overpasses, interstates, and frequently traveled main roads. While snow crews across the state are preparing, households are too. Officials are asking people to take their normal snow precautions, so make sure you have enough food for at least 72 hours. If you have a generator, make sure it's working properly and make sure you have flashlights and gas in your car in case you lose power and need to charge a device. Now, people today will also flock to hardware stores for snow supplies like salt and sand, shovels, snow blowers, generators, and more. It's been, again, nearly a year since the last plowable snowfall for many, so it's time to restock their supplies. Now, if you do have to head out to shop, make sure your list is complete before the snow starts to fall. Officials say you should not be out driving tomorrow night if you don't have to. And if you must be out in the snow, take it slow on the roads and keep a safe driving distance from other cars and snowplows. Crowding snowplows can be dangerous, and the drivers really need to focus on clearing the roads, and they should not have to worry about cars being too close to their equipment. Of course, you can stick with Fox 61 for everything you need to know about this weekend's snowfall. You can watch us on air, online, and of course stay with us on Fox 61 Plus as well. Live in East Hartford this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Well, we know we're getting snow. Of course, those totals could fluctuate. Maybe we'll see the forecast totals change a little bit. So stay with us here ahead of the winter storm. You'll get the latest on air, online, and always through the Fox 61 News and Weather apps.
6:05 now. The man charged in a deadly shooting in Bloomfield will be arraigned today. Devontae Swaby was recently extradited back to Connecticut from Arizona. He's accused of shooting Timothy Ross on December 4th on Cottage Grove Road. Police say he left the state and went back to Arizona, where he lives. Swaby is charged with murder and several gun crimes.
New Milford police said a car hit and killed a man who was trying to cross a divided highway. They said it happened last night on Danbury Road, right near New Milford High School. And that's a 4-lane road. They haven't released the man's name yet, nor have they said anything about the driver, but police are still investigating.
And today, state leaders will introduce legislation that they say could prevent people from being evicted in many circumstances.
Yeah, the measure would build onto some rules that are already in place here in Connecticut. Now, Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live at the Capitol. Brooke, I guess this is an attempt to try to curb a growing problem.
Yeah, that growing problem is, of course, rising evictions, but also leading to homelessness as well. Now, we did see a survey that showed back in 2022, nearly 23,000 people were facing evictions here in Connecticut. But now Congressman Rosa DeLauro is looking to expand the options that people have when they're facing this sort of situation. Now, DeLauro is expected to announce this Eviction Prevention Act in New Haven later this morning. Now, she calls it an extension of the right to counsel programs that already exist here in our state. Those programs would be given more funding so state and local governments can provide attorneys to represent low-income tenants in eviction proceedings. The original Right to Counsel program was funded by $20 million from the American Rescue Plan. DeLauro tells us this legislation needs to be passed because the growing number of people without a home is going up nationwide. Now, according to her office, nearly 5 million Americans lose their home every year, putting families under extreme physical and emotional stress. And on top of that, the eviction process often takes a long time and costs quite a bit of money.
Court is the only way to resolve the differences between landlords. There's no other system. It costs a fortune for the landlord and lost rent. Got to hire, most of the time you got to hire a lawyer, unfortunately. So it adds to the cost of the system too by having to have lawyers involved.
And again, that announcement is scheduled for later this morning in New Haven. We do have a reporter that is planning on covering that, and we'll bring you more details about this proposal later this evening. Live in Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Alrighty, stay warm, Brooke. Thank you. As more people struggle to find affordable homes in Connecticut, New Haven leaders hoping to add more options for at least 30,000 families looking for a place to call home. They're pushing for the Board of Alders to approve a new ordinance to lift restrictions and allow more accessory dwelling units to exist. As of now, owners of the dwellings are mandated to live on the property. Also, the units must be built in an existing structure, like a detached garage or basement.
The more that we can streamline and remove barriers to the process, that all contributes to the owner being able to rent that property at a lower rate.
Now, if the proposal is passed, a total of 4,000 new parcels could be created throughout the city of New Haven.
And especially given what Symphony just said, an effort to fight homelessness in New Haven is on the verge of getting derailed. And boy, would that be a shame. These 6 tiny homes that were built in a backyard on Rosette Street might have to be taken down if volunteers can't get them heat and electricity soon. They were built back in October by a local nonprofit, the Amistad Catholic Worker. It's also known as the Rosette Neighborhood Village. But the city said the homes are not up to code, and the village has gotten notices to take them down. But work is underway to get a plan to get approval from both the state and New Haven's Board of Zoning Appeals.
Right now we have 12 people living in somebody's backyard, and it's going to be cold, and you're trying to figure it out. I don't think it's something you should just put on the bottom of the pile.
Now, while the timeline for a potential approval is still unclear, both sides said they are working towards finding a solution.